Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Deez Sports Nutz podcast. We're back here with you again. I'm the coach here, along with the collector. It's been a little minute. Excited to be back on the air with you. Extremely happy to be back on the air.
Yes, extremely happy to do our original podcast.
Yes, OG original. So, anyways, a lot of stuff going on in sports. Want to tell everybody out there, we're going to try to chop these segments down and give them to you in little pieces, so it's a little easier for you to watch and stick with. We know we were going a little long, but we just got so much to talk about.
Yeah, a lot going on in sports, man. A lot going on in sports. Basketball playoffs.
Yeah, we're there. We're going to start in the East Coast. We're going to jump right into it as long as I can talk. Nets versus Celtics. This guy is not only the collector and the investor. I think he's also a strong guy you want to listen to when it comes to bets. Has a super pulse on the NBA. I have a light pulse, so we're going to lean on my man a lot more. I'm going to set him up. Let's talk about this Nets-Celtics series. I know a lot of it's circling around Kyrie and KD. KD did not play well. Kyrie did, but he used the two-finger salute and got fined $50,000. Thoughts on the Nets-Celtics?
In most years, you'd think this would be the Eastern Conference Finals. It's crazy. It's in the first round. Great matchup. I think the Celtics are too much over the series, but the game tonight, it's Wednesday, 4:20, and the game tonight is going to be pivotal. I think Durant's going to try to take it over. Whether he's hot or cold, I think he's just going to shoot. Kyrie will find his spots. It's just who else is going to step up? Does Joe Harris get hot from the three? Are they able to battle on the boards? But Jason Tatum he's next level, and he proved that. What a great shot at the end of the game.
A really strange sequence there. It looks like Brown has the ball. He's kind of erratic. Looks like Smart's going to take it. Makes a probably bad pass, and then Tatum's able to finish. So is this Tatum now stepping up? Is it his time?
Yeah, it's definitely his time. There was a lot of grumblings throughout the season about him and Brown. Could they coexist together? Mm-hmm. I honestly think that they're not good together. They're not going to win the championship. I think them two together are not perfect for their fit. I think the Celtics man is Tatum. I think that he is going to continue to step up. Jaylen Brown just has to find his way. Sometimes he tries to do a little bit too much. When he had the ball at the end of the game, I thought he was going to turn it over. Luckily, he passed it out. But this is Tatum's team, and this is his time to show up. Great investment is Jason Tatum. If you got him a few weeks ago, he's already up about 33% on his big cards. And I think that they make a little bit of a run. I just don't think that they got enough to win.
Lastly, big topic for debate today. Is Simmons a factor at all in this series? I know it's more defensively. I know he's not a shooter, but he's an athlete in space. Does he make a difference in this series at all?
Yes, I definitely think he does. I think they bring him in. His length forces the Celtics to shoot a little bit more from outside. I don't know who he guards, and I don't know his rust factor, with not playing all year.
Yeah, well, like J.J. Redick was saying this morning, it's not a feel thing with him. He's not a shooter.
Right.
So athleticism and guarding isn't as much of a feel thing, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And it'd be a much-needed injection of defense into that offense-heavy presence you see with the net.
It'll be an interesting dynamic to see if Simmons and Kyrie play it all together, because they're both ball dominant guards. Okay. Even though Simmons isn't a shooter, he loves to have the ball in his hand. So it'll be interesting to see if maybe they rotate those two. I think Simmons helps Durant a lot though, because Simmons loves to penetrate and kick out, and Durant loves to shoot.
Okay, so let's move right along here to the Sixers and the Raptors. That series has taken off a little bit. Harden's facilitating, which is something that he hasn't always done before, and Embiid's been very dominant.
Yeah.
How you feel about that series?
Philly's the much better team. The game tonight, though, in Toronto, I think Toronto gets a W tonight. Toronto is really great at home. The last Sixers loss, Sixers have won 7 games in a row. Their last loss, it was in Toronto. The line actually moved it started at 7.5. It's down to 2 because there were some injury problems. Scotty Barnes for the Raptors, who was a young rookie for them. So the line was a little off. The problem is that Embiid, when he wants to take the game over, he's unstoppable. Siakam's a great defender. He's just not enough. And he can't match him offensively for offense. So I do think the Sixers are too much. I just don't think it's going to be a sweep.
Okay. So let's move on to Miami, Atlanta. Again, Jimmy Butler just being Jimmy Butler. Unapologetically a scorer. Yeah. Trey probably doesn't have enough. At this point right now, I think with these rookies, it's a progression of getting over the hump.
Yeah.
He is playing well, I think about 16, 17 points a game. Not what he can normally do. Very tough matchup. But I wanted to ask you a question. I heard something this morning. They said Miami was built in the bubble. can you explain that? Like, what your feelings, what that means in regards to like that team getting closer in the bubble?
Yeah, well, last season they weren't supposed to do anything. They overpaid Jimmy Butler in a lot of people's minds. He hasn't had improvement himself, and they really coexisted great and made a run. You can see that they just love to play with each other, all the way from Bam down to Duncan Robinson. Tyler Hero. Everybody has their role. They bring in Kyle Lowry. They're just really a great team, and you can see that when adversity comes, when another team makes a run, the Heat always seem to lock down. They have no problem passing the ball, no problem if it like Jimmy Butler lights out. I don't know if I ever seen him shoot like that. Lights out. Guess what? Tyler Hero's fine with taking a back seat. Bam's cool with just getting the rebounds. There's no real big personality. It's like it's mine. And Butler, that was always Butler's problem.
Yeah.
But he literally has come back down to earth. He's a great team player, and I think they have an opportunity to make a serious run.
Yeah, well, and also you have a great coach in Spoelstra who is willing to fist fight Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
You have a great leader like Udonis Haslem, whose impact is obviously not on the floor anymore these days. But he's a traditionalist. He's an old Riley guy. He understands what it takes to win. He's won multiple championships. I think that's huge too. But I think built in the bubble is kind of the thing that when you have a great coach and you get close and you have a run like that, you're able to build off that, and you have some history. And again, a lot of those fights are overblown. They're passion things. They're good things. And it's just an interesting term I heard. Built in the bubble means that they made the best out of that, kind of like the Lakers did. They made the best out of that situation. A lot of times that's coaching and leadership. Let's move on now to Milwaukee and Chicago. Only played the one game. Giannis was super dominant in that game. Lots of offense, lots of defense, not a lot of offense. Yeah. How do you feel about that? Kind of early to tell, but how do you feel?
It is, yeah. I think this is a sweep. I think tonight it'll be 2-0. The Bucks are championship built. They've been there. They know that it's a long playoff. The Bulls are a little early. They're a little overstretched money-wise with Levine and DeRozan. Sometimes they play well together. Sometimes
a lot of injuries
they don't.
This year.
Yeah. Their rookie Ayo, he played real well. A couple, Lonzo Ball's out. They're just missing some pieces. They're like missing. I don't know. They're out of sync. When they're on, but they're out of sync more often than not. Vucevic down low. Matchup wise, you would think that they would be able to stick with the Bucks. They just can't. I think this is the Bucks series to lose. It would have to be something pretty crazy. I just hope they don't look forward too far and let the Bulls stick around too long. Hopefully they can get in and out of this series. Giannis is my favorite player right now. I think they have opportunity to really make it out of the East if they stay healthy.
So let's move on to the West now, okay? And I think this is there's obviously 4 series. I think 2 it's about who's hurt, and 2 about who's healthy.
Yep.
And let's start with Phoenix and Pelicans. Obviously, it's all about Booker being hurt. Everything changed when he pulled that hamstring. Whether it's a pull or a strain, haven't heard a whole lot about it today. Didn't look good. He was hustling. What effect does that have on this series?
I think it has a big effect. Somehow throughout the season, either Paul, Ayton, or Booker was out, and they were still able to stick around to keep that first seed. The Pelicans are just grimy, gritty. McCollum wants it. McCollum has something to prove. Ingram has something to prove. The Suns cannot let up off the pedal. They proved last night, without Booker, they might not have enough. They got a lot of role players that if they don't play their role exactly right, they're in trouble. I don't know if the Pelicans have enough to beat them in a series, but it could definitely happen. Booker being out really, really hurts. He's their guy.
Yeah. Do the Pelicans get that big body back, or is he done?
I don't know. It's very interesting because the reports have said that the two are on 2 different wavelengths, but they haven't come out with who's where. Are the Pelicans just trying to hold him back, or is Zion saying I'm not ready? Talk about must-see TV if he comes back, though.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
What a nice injection, even if you go to 7.
Yeah,
game 5,
15
7.
minutes of Zion. Because Ayton's getting banged up by Valanciunas. You put Zion in there to bang with him, too. I mean, that could be the thing to take him over the top. I just don't know where he's at. I've seen videos of the workouts. He seems to look good, but you never know when the timestamp is.
Yeah, when the bullets start flying, you don't know.
Right.
So moving on to Dallas and Utah, again, big injury. Looking at Luka's calf, hasn't played. Jalen Brunson's really stepped up and played well. That series is tied 1-1. I think people might be a little bit surprised at that without Luka. I know the odds changed drastically when he was out. Yeah. Luka's better but not ready yet. How do you feel about that series?
Yeah, Luka being out hurts, but there was a key pickup out of Mavericks during the season, Spencer Dinwiddie. He is really, really good, and he allows Brunson to be the scorer when they're playing together. Dinwiddie, Brunson, and Luka on the floor.
Can I just say that real quick?
Yeah.
Dinwiddie. I like that, man.
Spencer Dinwiddie. Great guard.
Yeah.
Great guard. He allowed Brunson to go off. Brunson had 40-plus the other night. Amazing. I think the key to this, though, is it just doesn't seem like Mitchell and Gobert are the guys. I don't think they make it through this season. They're not going to win. I think one of them moves. For some reason, it's just not enough. You got a seasoned vet like Mike Conley there too, Bogdanovich. Like, they have a great lineup. There's no reason why they shouldn't actually contend for the West. I just don't see it happening. I actually think Dallas might pull the upset here, even though they're favored. They're the 4 seed. Jazz are 5. Even without Luka, I think Dallas can win the series.
Well, Mitchell's going to be a free agent.
Yeah,
and the Knicks sent people there to scout him.
That makes sense.
Yes, they had scouts in the
Imagine
building
that.
Yeah, so it's really strange. Okay, moving on again. We got this Warriors Nuggets series, and we get talking a lot about the death lineup again. Who's not hurt? Steph Curry comes back in. Clay's not hurt. Couple things about that. Could the Warriors? Couple questions for you. Could the Warriors be a sleeper for the title? The Curry pull factor, and again, we talked a little bit this morning. Who isn't in the lineup? And, question mark by Clay. He doesn't seem to be a focal point. Draymond's doing his normal disruption on defense. I saw when he's guarding Jokic, what a difference it is in his shooting. So he's done a great job there, reigning MVP. How do you feel about those things, I ask you?
Real quick, I kind of don't really like the Warriors because of Italy, but I'm just saying the Warriors somehow are a sleeper, but they shouldn't be. They're a problem. I can only imagine if Wiseman was able to play too. They're deep. Their lineup is great. You got a former number 1 pick in Andrew Wiggins that's somehow under the radar there. It's just crazy. I think they have the ability to step up when needed. Clay, even though he hasn't been a focal point, still does not mean he's not going to give you his all. That's what's great about them. They're champions. Their main people are multiple champions. The Nuggets just don't got it. This is a horrible matchup for them. Jokic has had to do everything.
And he's losing his cool.
Yeah.
He got thrown out the other night.
That's crazy. Dude just gave him a pat on the butt, and he went crazy. Just a horrible series for Denver to draw the Warriors. I think the Warriors have the ability to maybe win the championship. I hate saying that. They're going to give a lot of teams
give Billy a break.
They're going to give some teams some problems, man. It's tough. Curry right back on time. They're a really, really good team. Jordan Poole is a really good player. He will go cold at times. The problem is that doesn't matter because then you got Curry, Clay, Draymond, Wiggins. They just a heck of a team. They're going to dominate this series.
Billy, if the Warriors continue to play, we're bringing you on here and you can give Jordan all the smoke. We know that's just straight hate. Correct. Look at my man back there nodding. Speaking of Dinwiddie, back there, Josh the engineer. Hey, but let's round out this West with the Memphis, Minnesota again. Who's not hurt. Ja, 27.5 points per game being him. Then you have the Edwards and Towns, the Twin Towers. New Slamma Jamma playing solid as well too. That series is tied 1-1. How do you think that goes?
I think the Grizzlies made a key change in their lineup last night. Steven Adams didn't play hardly at all. They changed their lineup.
Hail to Pitt.
Yeah, Towns dominates Adams, so they switched. Brandon Clark got more time, and Kyle Anderson, a little bit more athletic bigs, because Towns likes to bring Adams out and shoot in his face, drive past him. Great change in the matchup, and they were able to pull it out. This is just a great series of future stars. Ja Morant, Anthony Edwards, great players. A key guy on the Timberwolves, if they step up, I think makes them better, is D'Angelo Russell, former top pick, played for the Lakers for a while, moved to the Nets. He is really a great guard. He allows Edwards to explode to the basket. I like Ja a lot. I said that from the beginning. I thought Ja was better than Zion. I think Ja is the future of the league. I just don't know if they have enough to make a deep run. I think this series goes 7.
So we're gonna finish up here with predictions.
Yep.
My prediction for the finals, I think Milwaukee loses. And I think it's the Sixers and the Warriors in the finals.
Okay.
Interesting matchup there. If not that, in the East, I'm between the Sixers and the Bucks. I think a Giannis Warriors matchup, again would be good must-see TV. But that's I'm definitely on the Warriors, especially with some of the injuries and people being able to get back. Definitely on the Warriors. How about you, my friend?
I'm going with the Bucks in the East. I think the Heat had a really, really good shot, though. I like the Heat to upset the Bucks more than the Sixers. I'm not sure how the seedings work out, who would have to play first. I'll have to look into that. And in the West, that's the West is tough. I'd have to say I'll go with the Warriors, probably out of the West, especially with these injuries in Phoenix. But definitely watch out for whoever wins the Memphis-Minnesota series. They could definitely make some noise. My pick would be Warriors, Bucks, and Bucks to win it.
Yeah, and I think if I'm correct, I think that Miami-Milwaukee's going to happen in round 2.
Yeah.
I think the Sixers are in the bracket above. I'm pretty sure, though I looked at that correctly, but I could have been incorrect.
And that could be the change in the thing.
Yeah.
I think Miami could take out the Bucks to then face the Sixers, and the Sixers could beat the Heat.
Where you play, when you play, where you're seated, where you sit, all huge factors this time of year in the NBA playoffs. So we will definitely have a follow-up as we get to these rounds.
Yep.
We'll be back again. This is just our little take here. Deez Sports Nutz, always, in the mix of it with the stuff that's going on. I'm the coach.
I'm the collector.
We have the collector, man. NBA aficionado, man of many parts, as they say in Tombstone.
I talk about sports because I know sports.
Yes, sir. Yep. So, pleasure being with you, and we'll see you again soon. And remember, you're going to see these chopped up versions. We're going to do less. We're going to be smaller. And we're going to give you just a little bit less, but also give you so much more.
Yep.
That's us signing off. Have a great one.